Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 960, during which we'll hear audio postcards from North American Big Year man Gino Ellison with a winter bird in Massachusetts, and our own Freya McGregor with a comically colorful duck in Florida. We'll also talk about another colorful duck as today's featured feathered friend. Plus, we'll learn something surprising about roosters when we visit the Science Corner with our own Debbie Bleacher, and we'll salute some conservation-minded folks from across the pond, a.k.a. the Atlantic Ocean. Right now, we'd like to extend some thank yous to a bunch of listeners who have joined our Talkin' Birds Patreon, which is a wonderful way to support our show while receiving what we like to think are some pretty nice perks, including behind-the-scenes photos, exclusive video interviews, personalized video greetings, and other neat stuff. So thanks to our first Patreon subscribers, Robert from Phoenix, Arizona, Sarah from Newtown, Connecticut, Cecilia from St. Petersburg, Florida, Patrick from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Roll Tide, Kimberly from Pacifica, California, and Mary from Watertown, Massachusetts. For full details on how to join our Patreon and review the perks we're offering, you can visit patreon.com/talkingbirds, or just go to our talkingbirds.com website, and no G in talkin'. Now on to the first of two audio postcards. Hello, Gino.
Hello, Ray. This is Gino Ellison. I'm in Lexington, Massachusetts, listening to the sound of a winter wren. Let's give it a listen. All right, Ray. It's a beautiful day out here in Lexington. I hope that you're doing well. Hope your listeners are doing great. And I'll talk with you soon.
Thank you, Gino. And since we received that postcard from Gino, he has moved on to Texas as he continues his North American Big Year. His goal of 700 bird species has long been passed. The last report we got from Gino was 765. Pretty amazing. Our second audio postcard this morning is from our own Freya McGregor down in Central Florida.
Hey everybody, it's Freya McGregor here. I'm at Orlando Wetlands Park in Florida, and all that racket in the background is a lot of black-bellied whistling ducks. There's a bunch out on the water, and there's a whole lot on the bank. They have, unsurprisingly, black bellies and sort of a black mohawk and pink bills and long pink legs. They look kind of funny for ducks because they like standing around on their long legs. I think they're fantastic. All right, see you later.
See you later, Freya, and thank you. We're always looking for more audio postcards, so if you're looking at birds far afield or in your backyard or any place, consider recording a little description of what you're seeing. 30 seconds worth or a minute long maybe on your smartphone or a digital recording device of some sort, and then email the file to ray@talkingbirds.com. That's ray@talkingbirds.com. And by the way, we have another update from our friend Gino on his big year. We just heard from him this morning, and he tells us he's now at 767 species and has set a new goal of 775 species by the end of 2023. What we're listening to there is our mystery bird. This would be a preview of our mystery bird contest coming along a little bit later on in the show. Here are some details about our mystery bird. This is a sleek diving duck. The male has a white body and a dark green head. The female is a different color altogether, kind of with a cinnamon-colored head and a gray body, very elegant looking, and with a little shaggy crest. Usually seen on freshwater rivers and streams, our bird breeds up in Canada and parts of Alaska, winters over much of the U.S., but not very far down south. It's our mystery bird, and our prizes are really spectacular. If you were listening to last week's show, you heard our Mike O'Connor give a kind of a review about bird feeders, which he knows a little something about there at his Birdwatchers General Store on the Cape. And he was especially complimentary to the feeders from Brome Bird Care. And we're happy about that because Brome Bird Care provides the feeders that we give away on our Mystery Bird Contest. Today is no exception to that. And today it's a Mega 600 feeder with an extra large tube that holds nearly 2.5 pounds of seed. It's easy to clean, and squirrels cannot chew through this feeder. It's chew-proof, and it includes the Brome seed ventilation system to keep the seed cool and dry. That's also pretty important. And so is this. It comes with the Brome Lifetime Care Warranty, and they are known for their wonderful customer service. That's prize number one. Prize number two from our new friends at Fresh Cut Paper, makers of beautiful life-sized pop-up wilt-proof floral bouquets that are crafted to last a lifetime. And yes, they have bird-themed bouquets among their selections. Their bouquets have a small fraction of the carbon footprint of imported flowers, and they plant a tree for every bouquet sold. You can see why we like our friends here at Fresh Cut Paper. They also partner with 1% for the Planet, which is an international organization whose members contribute at least 1% of their annual revenue to environmental causes. So we have a certificate for 5 of those beautiful bouquets from Fresh Cut Paper as our second prize today. And if we have time for our bonus question, we'll give away or try to a feather-friendly window crash prevention kit to help ensure that birds don't crash into your windows. All on our Mystery Bird Contest coming along later in the show. We have some conservation good news of the week. This is a follow-up and an update to a story we reported on a couple of months ago about a single-use plastics ban in the United Kingdom, comprising England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The use of these items leads to enormous amounts of toxic plastic winding up in landfills at best and in our rivers, lakes, and oceans at worst. Well, the ban has now taken effect, and single-use plastic plates, bowls, and trays will no longer be available for purchase in the UK unless they come with prepared food. So that has to be worked on. Plastic cutlery and balloon sticks, which are attached to helium-filled balloons, are also being banned. According to a review by the University of Portsmouth, the ban should mean a shift away from the familiar polystyrene containers used for takeout, often called styrofoam, with a shift toward alternatives which could be made from biodegradable materials. Unfortunately, the new ban doesn't cover single-use plastic packaging, which is one of the leading sources of plastic pollution in the UK and elsewhere, including the US, although a plastic packaging tax is now in effect in the UK. So still a very long way to go in the fight against plastic pollution, but we offer a salute to government leaders in the UK for taking an important step forward. We also have a salute to, this is the bird conservation salute. This goes to John Oliver. You know John Oliver from HBO's brilliant Last Week Tonight program, for helping expand awareness of an important bird-related event. And he's doing it in his own way, of course, by making fun of the event. It's New Zealand's annual Bird of the Year contest, aimed at raising awareness about New England's indigenous birds, many of which are either endangered or have gone extinct. As NBC News reported, Oliver has spared no effort to promote his choice for the bird of the year, the endangered Australasian crested grebe, from billboard displays in Mumbai to an appearance on The Tonight Show. So he's into this. If you're hearing our show on the 12th of November, this is when we're doing the show live, you might still be able to vote. They'll be announcing a winner on November 13th. So in his inimitable way, John Oliver has added significantly to the awareness of the event and the issues, that must be the British pronunciation, the issues associated with it. So we offer him a Talking Birds conservation salute. We have one more salute. It's to another Talking Birds ambassador, listeners who step up and help us do what we're trying to do, which is to spread the word about the wonder of birds and the importance of conservation. And our ambassador that we'd like to thank today is Susie from Chesterbrook, Pennsylvania. She says, new to birding, retired librarian found new joy in bird research. By the way, Susie joined our ambassador's family right after winning our mystery bird contest a couple of weeks ago. So thank you so much for that, Susie, and congratulations. Meanwhile, here's a little inspiration from another ambassador saying why he thinks being one is a good idea.
My name is Dr. Joseph Blanda, and I'm calling from Akron, Ohio. I like being a Talking Birds ambassador because birding is such a healthy activity. You should become a Talking Birds ambassador because it's a great network of people and it'll broaden your horizons on things that you can do in enjoying birds.
Talkin' Birds listeners, we hope you'll join our ambassadors family. Just visit our website, talkinbirds.com. Join today, and thanks.
Yeah, you can join it right there at the website. If you go to the top of the page, you'll see where it says Get Involved. That's where you click there to join our ambassadors program. More than 840 strong in our ambassadors family right now, and lots of room for more. Let's see, still to come on our show today, we'll be joined by our own Debbie Bleacher in the Talking Birds Science Corner, from which Debbie will explain the significance of a study involving male domestic chickens, also known as roosters. And Mike O'Connor will be with us for Let's Ask Mike segment, almost live from the archive, about why folks come from hundreds of miles away to visit his store on Cape Cod just before Thanksgiving Day every year. And up next, a duck that acts like a cowbird is today's featured feathered friend.
So it is the redhead. Oh, that is what I said. Just give me the redhead. I must get your redhead before I did.
Yes, that's what he said. It's the redhead, today's featured feathered friend. It's a beautiful and aptly named duck. The male is identified by its rounded brownish red head, along with yellow eyes, a blue bill with a black tip, a gray back, and a black chest. The female has a brown head, and she has something in common with the brown-headed cowbird. She's a brood parasite, meaning that she has a habit of laying her eggs in the nests of other birds, including other redheads, and also in those of at least 10 other duck species, and even in the nests of American bitterns, and at least one raptor, the northern harrier. Many of these parasitically laid eggs fail to hatch, but the redhead, unlike the brown-headed cowbird, does also make its own nests. And the redhead has something in common with another songbird, as the male utters a kind of meowing courtship call, a bit like a gray catbird. The redhead is a diving duck, but it also sometimes feeds by dabbling, the way mallards and other pond ducks do, feeding mostly on plants, but also on clams and snails. The redhead breeds in marshes and prairie potholes over much of the western U.S. and winters mostly across the southern states and down into Mexico, often on saltwater bays. Redhead numbers have declined deeply in some areas, like the Great Basin and in Idaho, but North American breeding bird survey stats suggest that populations are stable overall. Today's Talkin' Birds featured feathered friend, Ithea americana, the redhead. Welcome again to our show, number 960, and we're about to meet up with Debbie Bleacher now in the Talkin' Birds Science Corner.
Come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Ray.
So, roosters recognizing themselves in mirrors?
Yeah, it's so they can put on their makeup.
That's what I thought.
Well, there's research going on at the University of Bonn in Germany that seems to show that roosters can recognize themselves, even though previous experiments have shown that they can't.
Wow. Well, we know some non-humans can recognize themselves, right?
Yeah. Chimps and other primates can, elephants, dolphins. Researchers test this in primates by putting red dye on an animal's face and showing it a mirror. And then the animal recognizes itself and realizes something's wrong with its face and tries to wipe it off, right? And this method has been used since 1970. But birds don't react the same way to seeing dye on their faces.
So they failed the test.
They do. And so for years, scientists thought birds weren't very smart.
Right, but they are smart. We know that now. So is there, a sort of a cultural difference between primates and birds?
Yes, you nailed it. The trick is that faces matter to primates because they use facial expressions so much in their social groups, but birds, not so much. So for this experiment, the researchers thought about what does matter to birds, or in this case, chickens. And they decided that what matters is safety. If a rooster sees a threat, like a hawk, he'll crow to alert his flock. But he won't crow if he's alone, right? So here's how the experiment works. Step 1. You put a rooster in a room with a mirror.
Okay.
Step 2, you put another rooster in an adjoining room where the first one can see it. Yeah.
Okay, got it so far. Yeah.
Okay. So you got one rooster in a room with a mirror, one rooster in an adjoining room where the first one can see it. Okay. Step 3, you project the shadow of a hawk in the room with the rooster with the mirror. Okay. So we know that rooster will crow to alert the other one in the adjoining room if it knows it's there. But will he crow if there's no other rooster? If he's just alone with his reflection?
Okay, so what does he do?
Well, he does crow when there's another rooster, we know that, and he does not crow when he's alone with his reflection. In other words, he recognizes that his reflection is himself and not another rooster. He recognizes himself.
What a surprise, just like chimps and other primates, and as you said, dolphins and elephants.
Yeah. And therefore, thanks to those researchers in Germany, chickens can now go on the list of animals that recognize themselves.
Well, good for them. But why does this matter?
Well, 2 reasons. First, self-recognition is one way we measure intelligence. So we can now say that chickens are smarter than earlier research showed. And second, now we know that when you design an experiment for an animal, you have to really think like that animal. A good method for a chimpanzee is not going to be a good method for a chicken.
Got to have that cultural context, right? Very interesting. Thanks, Debbie.
Oh, my pleasure, Ray.
That's our visit to the Talkin' Birds Science Corner. There's the end. We should probably point out, the research is often challenged, this kind of research by other researchers, so we'll see if this one holds up. That's our visit to the Science Corner, and now I think we're going on to the Mystery Bird Contest, if I'm not mistaken, and that would be in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate it in nature. 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 Let alone to appreciate it. We are appreciating nature here. This is certainly what we have established here. Maybe we'll start that over again from a different source. Should we do that? Here we go. The flutter of a tail feather. The flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. It's our mystery bird. It's a sleek diving duck. The folks at Cornell Lab describe it as a streamlined duck that floats gracefully down small rivers or seen on shallow shorelines. The male has a white body and a dark green head and a slender serrated red bill. The female has a gray body, a cinnamon-colored head with a short crest. Usually seen on fresh water, especially along rivers and streams. Our bird breeds up in Canada and winters across much of the U.S., but not down to the southern part of the country. We have beautiful prizes this morning. An extra special Broom Bird Care Mega 600 feeder has a giant tube that holds nearly 2.5 pounds of seed, and it's easy to clean and chew-proof. It includes the Broom seed ventilation system to keep the seed cool and dry, and comes with the Broom Lifetime Care Warranty. And from our new friends at Fresh Cut Paper, 5 of those gorgeous bouquets, fresh cut paper bouquets, and some of them are bird-themed as well. And these have a small fraction of the carbon footprint of imported flowers, and they last way, way, way longer than any flowers of any sort. So prizes there, and a feather-friendly window crash prevention kit as another potential prize if we get to our bonus question this morning, depending on how our time goes here. 781-837-4900 is the all-important number to call. If you don't get the right answer, you could still win by way of a drawing, so something to keep in mind, and take a guess or tell us what that bird is. 781-837-4900 is the number to call. Meanwhile, we'll check in with Mike O'Connor at the famous Birdwatchers General Store, almost live from the archive in just 1 minute.
More than 100 million wild animals are killed each year, illegally. Poaching is just one of the risks animals face at our hands. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor. I grew up in the beautiful rural countryside of Ohio, where animals roamed freely in the open forests. I have a deep concern to help preserve those open spaces for our wildlife friends so they can live and thrive like they used to. Destruction of their habitats threaten their very existence. The best way to protect wildlife is to protect the land where they live. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats, and establish permanent sanctuaries. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE. Or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Mike O'Connor's down there at the famous Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod, and let's just start off by saying good morning, Mike.
Oh, well, good morning, Ray. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I wish I could remember what it was.
Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of big things happening in November. You've got Project Feeder Watch, you've got Veterans Day, you've got Thanksgiving Day, and then there's the biggest one of them all. That would be Hatful of Potatoes Day.
Exactly.
On Cape Cod.
Coming up. That's right. Right. It's coming up. Everybody get their hats ready. That's our annual day where if you show up at our establishment with a hat, and no matter what size that hat is, we'll load it up with potatoes. That's always a Saturday before Thanksgiving, which is this coming Saturday. And if you show up, or you show up with your friends or your kids, well, everybody gets potatoes. And it's free. They're just whole potatoes. They're not mashed. There's no gravy. And we just fill it up, and then you take take them home, and you eat potatoes on Thanksgiving, and you save all the turkeys. It's an amazing holiday.
Is that one of those win-win things that I hear about? I think it's...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except for your hat. Sometimes your hat gets a little stretched and dirty. Yeah, but other than that, that's good. And I heard you mention the tropical kingbird, not a tropic bird. Tropical kingbird in Wellfleet.
Yeah.
I got the word on that, and I raced up there yesterday, and I got a beautiful sunset, but I didn't see the kingbird. But apparently it's there this morning, but I had to do some guys' radio show, so I wasn't able to go there this morning.
Yeah, it's always the problem. I know how that goes. That Sunday morning thing. Well, I know that Mike. I know people come from all over the country to go to Hatful of Potatoes Day, and our new ambassador that we mentioned earlier today, Christy Wyman, was at your store recently. She said she and her husband escaped to the Orleans Cape Cod area over the recent long holiday weekend. I guess that was Labor Day, and that you separated their wallets from lots of cash in your store. I mean, she didn't put it that way. That's just my interpretation. But she did say
I have no trouble with that.
She said they enjoyed chatting with you, so that was nice. I think I figured out how this works. So you get them chatting, and as they're talking, distracted, you're dropping things into their shopping basket. Is that how that goes?
That's exactly what we do. Yeah. What we do is I try to distract one while the other spouse continues shopping, because I can't talk to them both the same. So one is bored with the conversation, so he or she will go around the room picking up more things.
Okay.
At least that's my goal, anyway.
That's a form of play. We were supposed to talk about bird playing. I don't know if we have time. Can you talk about?
Yeah, it don't look like we have time for that. But it was going to be. Somebody asked me if birds do some playing. I looked up and there's all these crazy videos, but it's actually, I read all about it, and after I spent a long time reading about it, at the end of it, I didn't understand it any more than when I started.
Well, I'm glad we're not going to talk about it then.
We're not going to. But everybody get their hat ready. We don't care.
Yeah.
You know what? It's such a joyous day. I'll even fill Yankee hats. That's how good a day it is.
That is good. That is going the distance right there. All right. Thank you, Mike. We'll talk to you next week.
You sound good. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, I'm glad we got that straightened out. Now we're back to the mystery bird contest, trying to identify that duck you're hearing there. And speaking of going the distance, Scott is in California. I don't know if he wants to come all the way to Massachusetts to a Hatful of Potatoes Day, but maybe. Good morning, Scott.
Hello?
Hi. Are you there, Scott? Yes, you are.
Yes, I'm right here. Yes, hi.
Do you think you might come across the country to a Hatful of Potatoes Day?
Well, are you going to fly me first class?
Oh, gee, transportation not included.
I don't know if that's in the Talking Birds budget.
Maybe we should let's just...
I'll see what I can work out, man.
All right, let us know. But meanwhile, the mystery bird, Scott, what do you think?
I thought it was the hooded merganser.
Hooded merganser. Tim, that is what a top quality guess that is. But that buzzer would seem to indicate it's not exactly right.
All right, well, thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Scott. Try us again.
I will.
All right, let's go to, let's see, we're almost out of time. We better go to Debbie in South Yarmouth, Massachusetts, I believe. Hello, Debbie.
Hello.
Hi. Almost out of time here. What do you think our mystery bird is?
Common merganser.
Common merganser would seem to be correct. We're hearing bells ringing and applauding and birds singing. That's usually an indication. Nice job. We're out of time, but stay on the line, Debbie. We'll make sure we send those prizes to you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. We are out of time for today's show. Thanks for being with us, and special thanks to our guest engineer, Tim McKenney, who was with us here again this morning. Next week, Catherine Hawk from the University of California, Davis, will be here with us, and she'll be telling us some really remarkable research that she is doing about birds and how they are affected by temperatures associated with climate change. That's right on here, our show. So see you next week.
The bird show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
And by Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.